Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's begin with our warm-up here. So nice and easy. Start a little bit of side to side. Got about a minute and 54 seconds. So just a quick little warm-up. A little bit of grabbing to the side, grab and pull. Nice and easy. Just looking to grease the joints up with the synovial fluid. Get some blood flow throughout the body, bringing nutrients and oxygen. Warming up muscles, connective tissues a little more, stretching the lungs out, getting some breathing going to deliver oxygen. Bring it up a little higher here with the hands. All right, keep moving. Nice and easy. This is not a cardio. This is just a warm-up, just to get things ready. I'm going to switch to a little bit of knee curls here, bicep curls. Nice and gentle. Just barely break a sweat by the end of 2 minutes. Just get the body ready for more activity. All right, switch up to a little bit of marching and ladder climb. Keep moving here. Got about 30 seconds. All right, a little bit of forward and back tapping. Just moving, consistent movement. Cardiovasculars will be similar, just a little more intense. A little faster. All right, nice. Okay, first thing we got is squats. We're going to work the thighs in the front and the glutes in the rear. Okay, so nice and wide with the feet, hip to shoulder width apart. Okay, we're going to take a seat and sit back up. Weight's going to be on your heels and arches. You're going to stick your rump out as if someone's got a rope or you got a tail and they're pulling it back. So you're going to squat down, head and chest are going to face forward towards the camera, or at least, in front of you. What you don't want is to bend over and round out the back at all. Low back's going to stay straight, head and chest facing forward. Weight's going to transfer backwards a little bit. Try to keep those knees from going forward, okay? So we got about 50 seconds, just continuous movement. A lot of repetitions, not a lot of resistance. Now if you need this a little tougher, squatting down lower, trying to get those thighs parallel to the floor. If you need this a little easier, more of a shallow squat like I'm doing. How low you go is all up to you, and that will determine how tough it is. Along with holding anything, if you've got a couple dumbbells or kettlebells, you know, large bag of flour, bag of bark, you know, any of that sort of stuff can add body weight to your body while you're doing these to make things tougher. All right, take a break there. So again, nice and easy, really sitting back. I got my arms in front of me to kind of counterbalance myself, because you should feel like you're starting to topple backwards slightly. So having the arms out in front may counterbalance you a little bit. If you have a couple dumbbells in front, that may counterbalance you even better. So depending on how your body's made up, proportionally from heavy on the top or light on the bottom, etc., that you may have to counterbalance yourself a little bit with added weight, or at least your arms. All right, let's try it again. So another minute. A little side view here. And be prepared to catch yourself. If you lose the balance a little bit and have to step back, make sure you catch yourself, right? Picking those feet up. If you're on some thick carpet or there's rugs behind you and you lose your balance and have to step back, make sure you're not tripping over something. Nice and easy. How low you go is up to you. Head and chest facing forward. Feet again, hip to shoulder width apart. Toes may flare out slightly. Weight's going to be on those arches and heels. Trying to make sure those toes do not go forward, or I'm sorry, knees don't go forward. So when I go forward, making sure that the knees stay, anywhere between the ankles and the toes, not going forward past the toes. Okay, so sitting back. All right, well done there. Okay, so next we have a shoulder blade squeeze. So you're going to need your resistance tubing or band, whatever you have there. With or without handles, doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the middle of the band here, probably about shoulder width apart, elbow width apart or so. If you're having problems gripping the band and holding, you can also give a wrap around. So we're starting palms down and wrap around. So what we're going to do here is bring this back. Elbows are going to go back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together towards the spine. Good posture. You can do this sitting or standing, but just make sure you're upright. Good posture. Try to relax your shoulders so you're not hunching. Focus on elbows going back. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, as if you're trying to grab a pencil between your shoulder blades. Okay. Arms can go fully out or not, doesn't matter. And as you go backwards, hands will come apart a little bit, pulling that resistance tubing, adding some resistance to that shoulder blade squeeze. And as usual, always breathing. My elbows are lower than my shoulders. I'm not hunching at all. Brace those abdominals. So the core is tight. Only thing moving is elbows, shoulders, and shoulder blades. One more here. All right, nice job. Take a break there. So working postural muscles between the shoulder blades. We're getting some work on the back of the shoulder, that rear deltoid. A little bit of work on the biceps, front of the arm. Again, good posture. This is good for posture. If we strengthen up those upper back muscles, it helps pull those shoulders back, which keeps the chest out and head up and just having you in better posture. All right, so in position again. Nice firm grip on this, whether you wrap it or not. And just playing around, the closer the hands start together, whether it's wrapped or not, the more resistance you're going to get, okay? So play around with how much, resistance you're looking for. Closer the hands together, the more resistance. Or the thicker, stiffer your tubing or resistance bands. That, of course, plays into how tough this is also. Good posture, always breathing. Think about squeezing those shoulder blades together. Elbows goes back. And just hold a pause at the end when those shoulder blades are squeezed together. Looking good there. All right. Keep going here. One more. All right, excellent, nice job. So get rid of this tubing here. Okay, so next we have the incline push-ups. So we're going to move to a different spot with a counter for that. Okay, brought you to the kitchen. Great place to do this incline push-up. Counters, bathrooms, kitchens, anywhere, that sort of stuff. Depending on how tall you are, especially, and how solid they are, will give you a great place to do an incline push-up. So incline push-up is just like a regular push-up, working the chest muscles and the front deltoid and the triceps, abdominals and torso and low back, except instead of being on the ground, we're up at an angle. So there's not as much weight on our hands. So a little easier. So nice, shoulder width apart, a little wider than shoulder width apart. Find a good spot. Allow your body to straighten out, keeping the abdominals tight. You're going to allow yourself to fall in and push out. Fall in and push out. So step your feet away from the counter to where when you come down to this position, that counter where your hands are touching on the edge of the counter should be hitting you right in the bottom middle part of the chest. Okay? If you're standing too close, you're going to be hitting yourself in the belly. If you're too far away, you're getting down close to the neck, okay? So find that spot where your feet need to be so that your chest is hitting where your hands are touching, whether it's a counter or a window sill, or maybe you're on some stairs with your feet at the bottom, hands a couple stairs up ahead, and then pushing all the way out and all letting yourself fall down nice and controlled until your chest barely touches, and then straighten those elbows. Keep those abdominals tight. All right, take a break. So again, abdominals are tight, trying to make yourself as straight as you can between your shoulders and your ankles, okay? You don't want that rear peaked up really high, and you don't want to be sagging as you're doing it, okay? So think of yourself, as a 2x4, a nice straight board where everything's tight and straight as you go, up and down, okay? If you want more, resistance, then just find something lower to use. Less resistance, something higher, okay? All right, let's begin again. So if I have maybe a counter that's a little shorter, or an ottoman, or something solid, the more I'm, leaning forward, the lower my body is, the more weight on my hands, the harder this is going to be until I'm, fully on the floor, parallel to the floor of my body. Otherwise, if you want this easier, find something higher, a taller countertop, railing. I mean, something, as long as it's solid. You do not want anything that's going to move or break. You don't want your hands to slip, off. So really making sure that your hands aren't going to slide off the counters. It's a nice round bevel here, so it's easy on the hands, as opposed to if you have a 90-degree angle there. Going to be a little tougher on the hands there. So what you might do is, put a towel or something here to cushion your hand. All right, nice job there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on cardio here. We got our first cardio. I'm going to do a little reach and pull. So remember, you're contained by your own space, whatever room you're doing this in. Try to have a good 5 foot by 5 foot space, or arm's length, arms width around you the whole way around. Making sure that you don't have any rugs to trip over, coffee tables to trip over, your dumbbells are put away. Being aware of your surroundings, where the walls are at, all that sort of stuff, so that you're not bumping into stuff or tripping, especially if you have long carpet you're on. Reach up and pull, emphasize a pull. So cardio, we're just spiking the heart rate up a little bit. We do our strength training. We're trying to get the heart rate up throughout the whole class, but it'll probably die down slightly as we do some of the strength training, and then you have to spike it up with a cardiovascular. And we got about, it's about 2 minutes and 25 seconds of cardio to kind of get the heart rate going, and then we'll do 3 more of the strength training, and then we'll hit another cardio to spike the heart rate up. Okay, let's go. So uppercuts here. How fast you go is up to you. How intense it is up to you. Think about, if you can talk, like I'm talking right now, and you're not out of breath, that's about where you want your heart rate to be, okay? If you can't talk out loud because you're so out of breath, then you're probably doing this a little too fast, a little too hard. On the other hand, if you can sing, if you can belt out a tune singing out loud, without any issue, then you're probably not working hard enough. You need to go a little faster or do something to get the heart rate elevated. All right, we got about 28 seconds. We just want to move continuously. So you can do what I'm doing or anything else that works for you. If you've got a rowing machine or treadmill, if you have stairs that you want to walk up and down, or an aerobic step, or you've taken Zumba classes, any of that sort of stuff works for this. Throw on some music. A good 128, 132 beats per minute, that sort of stuff. All right, nice job. Okay, so on to another strength training here. We have the hammer and reverse curls with dumbbells. So let's grab a couple dumbbells. So nice firm grip, dry hands with the dumbbells. Last thing you want is to dump something on your feet or your floor. So first one is called a hammer curl. What we're going to do is we're going to face in with the palms to start. So your palms are going to face you. Hammer curl, we can do them at the same time, or you can do them single, alternating. I'll do the alternating to start with. So this is the hammer curl. We'll do reverse curls for the second minute here. So think about if you've ever used a hammer and you're smacking something or a nail with the hammer, the way you're holding it, it's the same way you hold a dumbbell. Nice and controlled. The only thing moving is the elbow. We're working muscles in the upper arm and in the forearm on this one. So bracing the core, abdominals are tight. Whatever kind of stance gives you good stability. You can do this one seated also. And always breathing. So a little closer here, about 25 seconds. Nice and controlled. You don't want to ever swing the arms or get any kind of momentum involved. It's always under control. Now you can bring speed into things, but again, it's all control. If you can control it and there's no momentum, and you're not recruiting other body parts like shoulders to help you out, then it's all good. All right, take a break. So about a 30-second break. Next thing we're going to do is reverse curls. I'm going to switch out my dumbbells here. A little smaller ones for this one. Depending on what size you have, you may switch them out or not. Reverse curls, so palms are going to be down and back, and now up and down this way. Okay, up and down. Again, a good firm grip on those dumbbells. All right, let's begin here. So another minute of this. So a little different. Again, working upper arm and forearm. Both of these different than your traditional bicep where your palm is up. Again, nice and controlled with this. No momentum. Only thing moving is elbows. Same stance, whatever's comfortable for you. Bracing the core, breathing. No shoulders involved, right? No hips involved. We don't want to swing our hips or throw our arms, right? So nice and easy. Good posture. Standing up nice and tall. Head is looking forward. Shoulders are relaxed. 10 seconds. Nice and controlled. Especially on the way down. All right. Nice job there. Well done. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to keep the dumbbells. We're going to do a bent over tricep kickback. Okay. So let me demonstrate this. We'll add some hamstring curls to it on the second set, I think. So this first one, to get into position, we're going to squat down and hinge forward from the waist, just a little bit forward. Okay. Bring our elbows back to where our hands are at the bottom of our ribs. Okay. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together a little bit. And then we're going to do this. You can hinge forward a little bit more if you want, so you're a little more in line with gravity. And you can do this single arm or doubles, doesn't matter. I think I'm going to alternate here because that'll work better when we do the legs with this too. So head and chest are facing the same direction. Okay. So all we're doing really is straightening the elbow. This is purely just an elbow exercise. Work on the tricep muscle, back of the upper arm. Work on locking that elbow out. And again, no momentum. Focus on the straightening portion, not the bending portion. And hold that position of being hinged forward. Knees are slightly bent in a squat. Elbows and shoulders are back. We've got about 15 seconds. Keep it up. And as always, breathing. Don't hold your breath. All right, nice job. Take a break there. Good 30-second break. Relax those shoulders, shake them out. So what we're going to add to this is a knee curl. So, nice and wide with the feet, a good shoulder width apart, hip width apart at least. And then I'm going to rock back and forth as I do this. Kind of rocking and shifting my weight back and forth. All right, so I'm going to hinge forward, get into that position, okay, and then this sort of thing. And you can do, same arm, same leg, or opposite arm, opposite leg. It doesn't matter. Whatever works with your coordination, okay? All right, let's begin. So in position, just like we did with the first exercise, except now we're adding the leg curl. So hinging forward. Nice and controlled. It's easy to get going fast on this one, but as best you can, focus on the straightening. One arm at a time on this one. It's easiest for sure. And then we'll work on the hamstring, the back of the thigh. Low back's having to do a little bit of work, holding you in position. Upper back having to do quite a bit of work. Backs of the shoulders, all holding you in position here. A little front view. 10 seconds left. Really focusing on the straightening of the elbows, bending of the knees as far as you feel comfortable. Get into a rhythm. All right, nice job. Whew, good one. Okay, shake the arms out. All right, so I'm going to need your chair on this one. So grab your chair and one dumbbell here. All right. Okay, so seated, lean back, or stir the pot. So sitting on the first half of your chair so that you have room to lean back before the back of the chair touches you. Okay, you don't want to rely on the back of the chair to hold you. We want our abdominals doing the work here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lean back, and then we're going to round and round with the hands. Think about stirring a pot of soup. You can have 2 dumbbells if you want, or 1 dumbbell, a kettlebell, whatever you have for resistance. We're working the shoulders here, getting quite a bit of work on those front deltoids. Counterclockwise, clockwise, doesn't matter. If you need a break, sit upright and try to lean back as far as you feel comfortable. Make sure your chair's solid. You know, it's not going to tilt or tip on you. Feet are nice and wide to give you support. You know, not leaning back so far that your feet come off the ground. Now, how big of a weight you use will determine how tough this is, how far you lean back. Another thing is how big that pot is. If I, you know, do a small one right in front of my chest, pretty easy. If I do a really large pot, to where now, you go take a break there. I'll demonstrate again. If I'm doing a really large pot here, now I got to get the whole torso involved. Rotating the torso to the sides and back, really straightening those elbows all the way, okay? So that changes out, you know, how tough this is also. So play around with not only, you know, how much weight you're using or how far you're leaning back, but how big that bowl of soup is or pot of soup is that you're trying to stir, okay? The bigger it is, again, the more body parts you'll get involved and the tougher it's going to be too. Remember your breathing. All right, try it again. So lean back. You can also, you know, if leaning back is tough for you, you can do this just sitting upright and not even leaning back. You could even sit with your back against the chair if you needed support. If you really wanted to isolate just your shoulders, that sort of thing works okay. If you want to get, you know, more torso and abdominals involved, then making sure you have a little bit of a lean back at some point, and then that you're getting a little bigger with that circle so that you can really lean in different directions, straightening those arms all the way. 20 seconds left. Definitely a little tougher one on the shoulders here. We're getting some good work on those front deltoids especially. A little bit of tricep involved, a little bit of chest involved. Abdominals, having to do some work obliques on the sides with the rotation. All right, nice job there. Okay, let's get rid of the dumbbells. Clear up your spot. Get rid of your chair. We've got another cardio here. Shake things out a little bit. Remember to drink water. You don't have your water bottle or a glass of water nearby, so you can just take sips periodically. Especially, you know, if the weather's getting warmer, or you're in a house that's a little warmer, or your clothes are a little warmer, you know, you're going to sweat more and you're going to need more liquid. So make sure to keep drinking. Again, I'm starting just a little bit of a side punch here. Let's do a little bit different. Let's a little bit of toe taps. Toe tap and a kind of a grab from the bottom across the body. And you can get going right away on cardios, right after we finish the previous strength exercise, or there's a good 25-30 second transition period. Great time to grab water, that sort of stuff. Clear your area. So it's up to you. Cardios can be a little longer or a little shorter, depending on when you start those. We got right now a minute 58 seconds. Looking good there. Again, you do what I'm doing or something else. If you got an aerobic step, or maybe you've taken dance classes or martial arts classes, any kind of consistent movement. You can sit and do just upper body stuff if you want. Just punching and moving those arms. All right, let's do some marches. Well, some pushbacks here. I'm pushing my palms backwards behind me, emphasizing the push. Just consistent motion. That's all we're looking for. How fast it is up to you. Watching your balance, watching your coordination, watching out for your surroundings. I can see myself on the screen as I record, so it's real easy to know exactly where everything is around me. You, on the other hand, watching this may not, so really just being careful. All right, let's do some bicep curls along with these guys again. We can go a little faster because we don't have any weights in our hands. And let's go palm up. We haven't done any palm up bicep stuff yet, so let's warm that up. 30 seconds. Get your breathing up. Get your heart rate up. All right. A little bit of side tapping again. And let's do some scissors. Palms up, rotating in and out, controlled. It's okay to get some speed going as long as you're under control. All right, nice job, well done there. Okay, so Arnold presses are what we have next, named after Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I'm going to use the smaller dumbbells for this guy. So you can do this against the wall or just standing upright. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with the dumbbells racked in front of my shoulders, elbows in and facing forward. Again, firm grip, dry hands on those dumbbells. You can do this seated or standing. Just make sure that, again, the abdominals are tight, core is tight, giving yourself a good stance if you're standing. Good posture, relaxing the shoulder. What we're going to do is we're going to go out and up and then down. Out and up and down and in. Okay. Out and up, just kind of rotating till the palms are forward on the top, and then rotating as you come down, elbows and shoulders, forearms. You can do the single arm or double arm. We're getting deltoids in the shoulders. We're getting triceps in the back of the upper arm. 20 seconds left. Dumbbells can tap, touch. Again, just being careful that it's not too hard if you are. Head just stays neutral, looking forward. All right, take a break there. So again, what makes this tough is really just the amount of weight you're using. The heavier the weight, of course, the tougher it's going to be. Again, firm grip, dry hands. You don't want to dump these on your head or your feet or your hardwood floors. So again, a good grip on this. Good posture. No momentum, no hips involved or anything, right? No arch in the back. If you find that you're getting out of form, then take a break. Even if we haven't hit that many yet, no worries. Just take a break. All right, so let's get in position again. So dumbbells racked in front, palms facing you. And let's begin. So open up, and all the way up top, and then back in. Try to make it as fluid as you can. One motion as opposed to, a couple different motions. So there's a rotation going on along with up and down motion. Tight on those abdominals. Good posture. Head is just neutral, looking forward. We don't want to get neck muscles involved. How big kind of a rotation, how wide those elbows go out and stuff, or how narrow you keep it is up to you. You can kind of play around with that kind of range of motion. Looking good. All right, and that's all we got. Nice job there, well done. Okay, so let us get rid of at least one dumbbell. Keep one dumbbell. Get rid of one and keep one. So what we're going to do now is the side lunge with a dumbbell pass. So your lunges, again, make sure you have a nice bit of space side to side. What you're going to do is you're going to step to the side, switch a good chunk of your weight, 60-70% of your weight onto the outside leg. Just like the squat, the weight is more on the heel and the arch. Toe can be flared out slightly, and you're going to squat down as far as you can. You can kind of reach out with that dumbbell. Then you're going to go push back to the middle, switch hands, step out to the other side, shifting your weight to this side, reach out with the dumbbell, and then back up. So again, trying to keep that weight to the side and back. We don't want that knee going forward, just like with the squats. We want that knee right above the shoelaces. Okay? Back and forth. How deep you go is up to you. The deeper you go, the more resistance you're going to get, the tougher it is to get back up. The bigger you step. If you take a nice wide long step, it's going to be a little tougher to push back, get back into the center. But if you take too small of a step, it's a little tougher also. So find, for your body and your leg length and the space you have around you, what's a good step? I'm hinging just a little bit, but I'm trying to keep that low back straight. Head and chest are, facing forward for the most part still, and I'm breathing. All right, take a break there. So we're working thigh muscles. We're working glute muscles in the rear, a little bit of the outside of the hip muscles also, outside of the thigh. Some abdominal, spinal muscles all have to stabilize, and a little bit of arms, shoulders as we're reaching that dumbbell. Heavier the dumbbell, of course, tougher it's going to be. You can do this without, reaching or any dumbbells, of course, too. All right, so in position again, feet about hip width to shoulder, or hip to shoulder with the start. And then we're going to take a nice big step. And as I do that, I'm going to kind of twist my torso so that it's facing over that knee a little bit. Just a little bit of a rotation there. How far you go out to the side is up to you. It can be really a straight to the side or more of a diagonal, up to a good 45-degree angle. Just kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. What's comfortable for your knees. That back leg just kind of hangs out there, more for stability. That front leg is doing most of the work of stepping and holding your weight and then trying to press you back to center, as opposed to, you don't want the inside leg pulling you back. Okay. All right, nice job there. Okay, so bent over curl with a twist with resistance tubing. So get rid of your dumbbell. Never get a sip of water if you need to. All right. So we'll need your resistance tubing. If you got a handle, great. If not, no worries. So what we'll do is we're going to start so where that band goes under your foot and through the outside, around the outside, okay? So what you want is you're going to step on the band far enough to where when your hand is straight, you're getting a little bit of a curl. Or I'm sorry, a little bit of a resistance when your hand is straight, okay? Or I'm sorry, elbow is straight, all right? So when it's fully down, I'm getting just a little bit of pull before I even start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl and twist slightly in, all right? Keeping enough weight on that foot so that, this tubing doesn't pop out, but I'm going to shift my weight a little bit from the standing foot, a little more weight onto this other foot as I twist. So just a little bit of a rotation and a lean forward as I bicep curl, as I bend that elbow as far as I can, and then slowly bring it back to straight. So it's just a little bit of a bicep curl, and then we're getting a little bit of a twist and weight shift. 10 more seconds. And I'm just kind of lifting my foot up when I shift my weight, and then I rotate out. All right, take a break there. So now what we'll do is we'll switch to where you're standing on the other foot. So again, where you stand is up to you. Trying to get a little bit of tension just to start with before I even start moving. So good posture, standing up tall, and then we got about 8 more seconds, but I'll start up for you. Just kind of rotate here. Again, adjust that. You want it more on the, the ball of the foot or closer to the toes. That way, as that knee bends, it's not going to get in the way of the tubing here. And just kind of leaning forward and really actively turn and rotate the torso the opposite direction of the where the tube is. So we're getting a little bit of bicep curl for the biceps here, and then we're getting again a little bit of work on those obliques and abdominals, having to rotate and bend. Low back's doing some work. Thighs are having to do a little bit of work. We got 5 seconds. Keep it up. And breathing. All right, nice job. Okay, we got our cardios and cool down here, so let's get rid of your resistance tubing. Okay, and again, you can get going right away, or I'm gonna grab a little sip of water. Okay, start with some uppercuts here. So what we'll do is we'll do another cardio. We'll cool down a little bit, work on some balance, and then stretching. We're done with all the strength part. I'm just sidestepping, a little bit of tap here. With some uppercuts, consistent motion, right? So 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And then we'll go into another 2-minute cool down. So we want you to actively get your heart rate up now. Let's work hard to push yourself for our last cardio. All right. Let's go back and forth. Just take a couple steps forward and back, kind of depending on how much room you have, right? You know, maybe you're taking 3 or 4 or 5 steps. Maybe you got a nice long spot. All right, so back to some regular marching. Narrow marching here. You can, do whatever with the arms. Let's go to some wide marches. Keep that pace up and back to narrow and wide. Looking good there, and narrow. If you want a little less impact, keep those toes on the ground instead of fully stepping. Keep those toes on the ground. Give you a little less impact when you're marching. Let's go wide. Got about 45 seconds. Let's move forward. Nice and wide, and then narrow and move back. A couple paces. Wide, move forward, and narrow, and move back, and wide, narrow, wide, move forward, narrow. Let's change it up. Wide, move backwards, and narrow. Keep going. Almost there. All right. So now we're on a cool down, so let's slow that march up, okay? Slow that march up. Let's do a little heel tapping forward and back. And just a little grab and pull. So we're actively trying to get our heart rate back down. We don't want to stop moving totally. We want that blood to circulate throughout the whole body and not just pool, in the larger muscles. If we just stop and do nothing, it might start pooling a little bit, not circulating through the body as well. Brain doesn't get as much blood. Could lead to possible lightheadedness, fainting, falls, injuries. So we want to get that heart rate down below 100 beats per minute if you're counting, if you're taking your pulse. So what we do, I'm going to go to the side here. Nice long one here. What we're going to do is just keep moving, even if it's gentle. You can walk around your house, grab your water, and just drink while you kind of move around. As long as you're just moving. Got about 50 seconds left. All right, let's do a little bit of balance here. So let's go up on our toes. And we're just going to walk around the room on our toes, okay? Work on our calves, but also, we're still moving. Give us a little cool down, back and forth, just on the toes. Now switch it up to the heels. Okay, nice and easy. toes up in the air, walking on those heels, right? So again, we're still moving. But now we're getting a little bit of work on the calves and the shins. Nice. Keep moving. All right. Just a little bit of marching. Okay. If you need to cool down more, if your heart rate hasn't come down somewhat, pause the video or something and keep going. Keep cooling down. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of balance. So what you can do, a couple of things, you can do a little bit of single leg balance. If you just want to hold on to, grab, if you need, grab your chair or your windowsill or your wall. A little bit of a single leg balance here. Okay. So I'm going to shut this timer off for now. Not going to use that right now. So a little bit of one leg balance if you want to do that. Or what I'll do is I'll bring you through a little dynamic balance here. So let's start off with thinking about if you have a dog, if it's a Chihuahua and you got to step over it because it's sleeping, you're going to step over this sort of stuff. Okay, little dog. Now maybe you've got a bigger dog, German Shepherd, right? Or a Great Dane, and you're really having to step over. All right, maybe 1 or 2 paces to the side each direction. Really focusing on stepping up and over. Real easy. Keeping that balance. Hold on to a wall if you need to. If you have a hallway or a nice chunk of wall that's doesn't have chairs or anything on it, just kind of doing it and holding on if you need to. What we'll do is we'll make it even tougher. So let's go over 1, 2, and then let's pause at the top. Okay, a little single leg balance, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, that sort of thing. 1 big step, 2 big steps, up, I couldn't hold it. And then try to hold 3 seconds or 5 seconds, right? Try to do it without losing your balance. Big step, and then hold that position. There you go. And hold. Excellent. One more time to this side. And hold. Ooh, nice. Okay, well done. So a little bit of dynamic balance, just kind of moving while you balance, as opposed to more of that static single leg balance. Okay. All right, let's finish off with some stretches here. So we've got first stretch we'll do. Get rid of this chair. This sort of motion here. I'm gonna squat down and hinge forward slightly. I'm gonna dig the heel in on that front leg, and then what I want to do is try to stretch the back of the thigh, back of the knee. Nice and gentle. Hold that for a good 20 or 30 seconds. No bouncing, no jerking. And like usual, always breathing. All right, switch legs here. And you can hold on to something if you need to. This is not a balance exercise. So do this next to a wall or a chair or something where you can hold on to if you need to. Now, if you want a little more calf stretch, bring those toes up towards your face. You feel that a little bit more on the calf. And you can kind of reach down as if you're grabbing towards your knee or your foot. Again, real gentle. Keep that low back straight. Try not to let everything round out. All right, well done. Okay, another stretch. We're going to do upper and middle back, little low back here. So if I stand, if I pelvic tilt or tuck, bring that pelvis forward, that'll straighten that low back. I'm going to squeeze the cheeks together on my rump so that low back straightens out from that natural curve. And then I'm going to reach as far as I can away from my body. I'm going to interlace my fingers, look at my palms, and then round out the upper and middle back and just stretch my hands away from the body as far as I can. Hold that position, but breathe. You can accentuate the wrists so that you get a little bit of stretch on those forearms, on those extensors, on the tops of your forearms. Try as best you can to keep your head neutral. Easy to let that neck kind of crane forward. Try to relax your shoulders. All right, nice job. One more. So start in this position. Feet, give yourself a good stance. Elbows are out to your sides, 90-degree angle in the armpits and the elbows. Kind of like a field goal here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the elbows back, arms back, try to stretch our chest and the fronts of the shoulders. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then think about, you can also bring those hands together or behind the head, whatever range of motion you have. Chest out. You may lean back a little bit, hips can come from forward. Now let's straighten the elbows, palms up, thumbs back. And then reach those thumbs backwards as far as you can. Now dip your wrists, bend your fingers back and your wrists backwards. We'll stretch you can feel that in the wrist and the flexors on the bottom part of the forearm. All right, nice job. All right, shake it out. Whew, good workout today. Well done today. All right, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for being here.